Stand by for action. Hybrid run. Hybrid run.
Boring. We live in the most boring dimension in the universe. Nothing ever happens here. So we crossed into the new frontier. Everyone there was having fun, but you don't know how to have fun. So you attacked them, but you even botched that. So I had to take charge.
I want the magic stick!
Silence!
Greetings, universe. My name is Orbital Bacon, and I am certified G1 and a real freaking prime. And you can't teach that. And this right here, this is my army of freaks. They're weird and they're proud, and you can't teach that. Bada boom! Realest spots in the room. How you doing? Ball wheat burrito, everyone. How's your weekend going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun. Hope your weekend is full of pizza rolls and Energon wine. Good to see you all here. I see Galvatron. Thank you for powering the Space Bridge, Galvatron. Thank you for that. I noticed that during the pre-stream. Thank you. Pound it. We'll definitely get to that video. I appreciate that. Raven, Andrew, the Bug, Fortress Maximus. Yeah, I do need an audience sound effect, don't I? It's not, well, I need a microphone for the audience. That's what it is. Jalen, all right, what's up? Silverstorm, chillin' like a villain. Yeah, that's right, pound it. Even though I'm a prime, I like chilling like a villain myself. Pound it, pound it. Jose, do I have the Omnitrix? Oh, I left that back in the old studio. I did have that. Yes. Good to see you all here. We got the Goon Squad as well. Yeah, so I couldn't miss out on this. The final chapter in Netflix's brilliant series. I don't know what else to call it. This was something else. So yeah, I couldn't miss out on this. I don't think I even appeared in this series at all. It was quite disappointing. But not just for that reason. There are many, many reasons that Kingdom was disappointing, but I'll let you get to that, Prime.
All I know is my voice in that show is inferior. Were they even trying?
All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Haven't started the review yet. Still on the introductions. Yeah, I don't know. Shockwave, he blocked that out of his memory. He was getting PTSD from that, and so yeah, he doesn't remember that. We don't talk about that around him. You know what I mean? We keep that hush hush, Fortress Maximus. You know, we just we let that one slide right under the rug. Yeah, I know. Somebody, shh, don't tell him. Don't tell him. We don't want a repeat of that episode, okay? We don't want a repeat. All right, let's go. Enough hot dogging and grandstanding. Let's get down to the reactor room so we can get into this review. Starscream. Oh, Starscream. Your #1 fan's birthday is coming up in a few months. Host the stream just for the day. You know, I bet we could make that happen, Andrew. I think we can make that happen. Happy birthday to you. An early birthday fist pound right there for you. Starscream has died. Well, apparently, according to a member of the chat, Starscream has died, but we'll make it happen. Even if we have to get his ghost in here. It's gonna happen. All right, we have reached the reactor room, the holodeck. Let's do this. So, first and foremost, what we're doing tonight, for anyone that's new, I do see a lot of familiar faces, and I appreciate you all showing up here tonight. But for anyone that's new, what we do here, this is sort of like a live podcast style, bunch of different Cybertronian characters. We've got me, Starscream, the ones you saw there, Soundwave, and a few others. Wheeljack likes to pop in from time to time, and you know, we should we should let Waspinator show up tonight. Because he didn't show up in Kingdom, that's for sure. Spoiler alert. He didn't show up in Kingdom. So maybe we should let Waspinator show up tonight. But for anyone who's new to the channel, that's what it is. It's sort of like a podcast, live podcast style. And typically we'll react to random videos. Tonight I'm doing sort of a review on Kingdom since that recently came out. And there's a lot of mixed reviews on that. So I figured, hey, I'll throw my opinion in there. Why not? And if there's any videos that you want us to react to, it doesn't necessarily have to be cringy stuff. It could be anything funny, any songs that you want us to hear, anything like that. You can request it through a super chat and we'll check it out. You can test the might of the Sterner Stuff Squad. So without further ado, let's get into this. Master Junior, welcome. Delilah. All right, good to see you guys. Try not to spoil the series. Oh, don't worry, we're going to spoil it. We're going to spoil the hell out of it. Don't you worry about that, Master Junior. But yeah, I've got a few clips prepared, a few notes here, a slideshow, so that I don't get copyright stricken because I don't want to rely totally on clips. I also do have, if you don't want to donate through the super chats, because donations are never required, but they all are always appreciated. And you can also support the channel through merchandise. It supports the channel. Get yourself a cool shirt. I've got a few new designs on there. Well, let's get that out of the way. Okay, enough hot dogging and grandstanding. So the first thing that we have up here, the first strike, and I'm sure that this has been at the beginning of every series, but it's just something that really stood out to me particularly this time, is that they call it an anime series. And it's the first of a running theme. The reason I point it out particularly in Kingdom is because Kingdom, I feel, out of the entire trilogy, has this running theme of not understanding where it came from. With Siege and Earthrise, they were sort of doing their own thing. You know, it was kind of a callback to G1, sort of an aligned continuity thing. They were, it was just sort of doing their own thing. But with Kingdom, it feels like they were trying to do this homage or something to Beast Wars, but completely missed the mark. I don't know. Because there's so many times where it feels like they did not understand or just completely didn't know. Maybe they didn't bother to look it up. Some of the information about Beast Wars, whether it be the characters, the lore, whatever it is. And so this was the first thing that sort of set that off. Because you can't call it an anime if it didn't come from Japan. And I know people have argued, well, the animation studio was a Japanese animation studio. But I've already explained that before in a previous stream, that outsourcing to a Japanese animation studio does not make it an anime. It is not a product of Japan. But anyway, we start off. I mean, it gets right into the nostalgia bait. There's a lot, and that's another thing too. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the term key jangling. It's sort of like this nostalgia bait type thing where movies or shows or whatever they might be will sort of play off people's nostalgia to try to get that extra engagement and go, oh, look what we've got here. It's Unicron. Remember Unicron? It's sort of like the member berries from South Park. Oh, remember? Yeah, I remember. It's sort of like that effect. And they don't even waste any time. Just immediately, right into it. We get Unicron with some, and I know that this was also, bringing the end of Earthrise and continuing from that, but the reason why I call it key jangling and nostalgia bait is because it doesn't really go anywhere. Spoiler warning. Doesn't really go anywhere. Doesn't go anywhere. This is just, it sets it up like, ooh, he's going to be this big bad, but not really. There's a lot of sort of running in place in this series, as we'll get to. But I wasn't too impressed with the sound of Unicron. He sounded, weak to me. He needed more oomph. I mean, at the very least, I think the voice actor they got was trying to sound like the G1 Unicron, which is more than I can say for some of the voice actors in this show. But yeah, it just came across as sort of weak. I wasn't too impressed with the way he sounds. And it just, like I said, it just felt like they were trying to play off nostalgia. Now, I did like this. I'll give credit where it's due. There were a couple of cool things. I did like Megatron having the Matrix strapped to his chest. That was nice. That was fine. Megatron was one of this Megatron. Let me clarify. Since there are two Megatrons in this series, let me clarify. This Megatron was a good Megatron. He was okay. I didn't mind him. It seems like he's improved over the series. I don't know if he got feedback or paid attention to the feedback from the fans or anything like that. Maybe the voice director gave him feedback, although that seems unlikely since some of the other actors, if they were directed by the same person, don't seem to have improved. So I don't know. I don't know, but Megatron, he improved a little bit over the series. I enjoyed him throughout Kingdom, and like I said, this particular thing where he had the Matrix strapped to his chest, I like that. That was all right. Now, Soundwave, as Soundwave himself mentioned before, I just still, I know this is like the third season, and he's been in here. I can't get over the voice. It's like, I don't know what vocoder the effect they're using. It doesn't sound authentic. I know the one that that our sound wave uses isn't exactly spot on to G1, but oh, I think it sounds better than this. I mean,
I've already made my opinion known. I feel his voice is inferior. Many others have done a superior impression. The effect itself could use some work.
yeah, it wasn't the best. It really wasn't the best. It sounded like hollow, like he was inside of a trash can or something. Maybe he recorded his lines inside a bathroom. Toilet wave. I don't know. And then speaking of sound wave, we have Laserbeak was basically the only action sequence or one of maybe two action sequences in the entire first episode. It was really slow paced in that first episode. A lot of talking, hardly any action. And I don't expect it to be non-stop mindless action scenes, but your first episode should usually start off with a bang. I mean, it's like a season premiere. And this was all you got. Laserbeak chasing around Airazor. So that was basically the first episode. The impression I got, we weren't really off to a good start. We weren't off to the best start here. They had a lot of weird dialogue as well, I noticed. And there's always, people have already talked about the slow delivery of the dialogue, so there's a lot of that. The Optimus was like, I am all right. Ratchet, tend to the others first. It was just, it was so slow getting through things. A lot of awkward dialogue. Ton of awkward dialogue. This right here, this whole thing between Dinobot and Airazor, I thought that was a little bizarre. That she just, it doesn't have to be binary. I don't think what he was talking about, Airazor. Odd choice of words there. Odd choice of words. Andrew, it's a shame there wasn't Rumble or Frenzy. Or Ratbat, yeah. We could have seen more tapes, especially... Now, they did have Laserbeak chase Airazor, and they had a part where Ravage briefly wrestled with Cheetor. But that was about it. I feel like there was a lot of wasted opportunity. Now, getting back to what I was saying before about how they don't seem to understand the characters, this is one of the instances that stuck out. It was like a glaring instance where I said, okay, wait a minute. There's this moment here where Dinobot is walking by, Rat Trap sneaking around. You see Rat Trap clung to the ceiling there. Rat Trap sneaking around the base. And Astro Train turns the corner, and you think that he sees Rat Trap, but since Rat Trap sprung up to the ceiling there, he actually sees Dinobot turning the corner. And he said, oh, what are you doing here? And, he's talking to Dinobot. And Rat Trap gets away completely unnoticed. Now, if you really knew the character of Dinobot, you would know that he would have smelled Rat Trap from like a mile away. That was something that he commented on repeatedly throughout Beast Wars, was how much Rat Trap stunk. In fact, I'm going to get into the voice acting itself. I'll go ahead and bust out a Dinobot impression here. Let me clear the vocoder, since Beast Wars don't really have that.
Wretched vermin, I could smell you from around the corner.
That's how it should have gone. But no, he just speaks to Astro Train. He's like, oh, well, yeah, I was just checking on Airazor. I'll be on my way. That was it. Oh yeah, Fortress Maximus, a lot of missing characters. We had Waspinator missing, Tarantulas, a lot of missing characters. And the only reason I bring up the being able to smell rat trap, because you might say like, oh, that's really off. Not terribly obscure, because like I said, he made repeated references to it. But the reason I bring it up is because for the most part, it seems like they were trying to keep these characters in line with their original counterparts, but then they would either miss things, change things, or just one thing, like an arbitrary thing. But we kind of know why they did that. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it would seem like they would forget things, overlook things, and so this was one of those instances that first stuck out to me, where it's like, hey, they should have realized that Dinobot would have smelled, because they already had the other characters being able to smell, Cheetor was able to smell the Autobots while they were being cloaked. So, or disguised by Hound, whatever you want to call it, hologram, cloak, whatever you want to call it. The point is that they had already established at this point that in this universe, because maybe you might be saying, oh, well, this is a different version. It's not exactly like the originals. They don't smell like the animals do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They already established that. So, yeah, that was just one of the things. I don't mean to nitpick it on it too much, but it just sort of stood out, and it began a series. It's like a repeated thing where I noticed characters either behaving out of character or missing things that they shouldn't miss, things like that. Galvatron, thank you for powering the space bridge. Show the superior lesbian couples to talk to dummies. Okay. Thank you. Found it. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for powering the space bridge, and we will definitely get to that. I'm gonna get to all the super chats at the end of the review, but I do appreciate that. All right. Speaking of couples, though, what timing, Galvatron? What are you got ESP, psychic? How did you know? We were just about to start talking about couples. But one thing that, and I will, because as much as I'm sort of picking on him for getting things wrong, I will give him credit when they get things right. Okay? And one thing I like is they kept seem to keep the relationship between Airraiser and Tigertron. He showed concern for her whenever she was in danger, and then when they meet up here, as seen here, they do embrace. And so it was nice to see the callback, so they did watch some of the original Beast Wars. They know what's going on in some cases here, so that was nice. I will give credit where it's due. There's a oh yeah, Jose, the T-posing Magnus that ascends to the heavens. Oh man, there's so many parts here. It's ridiculous. Oh, speaking of, now I'm jumping way ahead. Okay, so before this jumps way ahead. The Force Ghost Dinobot. I just, before I get to here, let me go over some of the voice acting, because I'm gonna try to keep this chronological, at least a little bit. I'm gonna jump around a little bit here, and like I said, there will be spoilers, but I'm gonna try to keep it chronological. So let me, before we continue on the slideshow here, let me pull up some of the clips that I had prepared for the voice acting, the examples of the voice acting, because oh boy. Get ready, Sterner Stuff Squad. This would fit right in on a cringe stream, like a typical Sterner Stuff stream. This is ready to test your might here, okay? Just get ready. I'm gonna start out. I sort of broke it off into sections. So first off, we're gonna highlight Optimus Primal, since these are like the focus of Kingdom, or the Beast Wars characters, right? So, in my opinion, if you're going to have a season that focuses on the Beast Wars characters, and especially, you've got your leaders here, you've got Optimus Primal and Beast Wars Megatron. Those should be your primary focus when it comes to casting, making sure you get them just right, making sure that they, fit the character, that they nail their lines, because this is going to be the highlight of your season. And let me tell you, not just from a fan's standpoint, because of course, as a fan, I want it to be great, but it's also from a business standpoint, because let's not forget that, oh, thank you, Lord Galvatron's powering the space bridge. Man, we're going to get there. We're going to have the space bridge take us to another dimension at this rate. Thank you, Galvatron. Thank you. Hell yeah. Found it. But from a business standpoint, because at the end of the day, Transformers is meant to sell toys, right? So the better that your characters come across, the more likely that they're going to sell toys. I mean, it really just helps. It's not just from a fan standpoint or a storytelling, wanting good stories, wanting old school stuff as a fan, from whatever aspect you come from. Business, stories, old school fan, whatever, it all serves the same purpose of improving that. And I feel like they sort of dropped the ball on this. So let's start out with Optimus Primal, because he kind of sounds like a big dumb idiot. You'll see what I mean.
Tell your forces to stand down, Nemesis.
Stand down.
Now you're concerned about everyone else, after you ruined everything.
You ruined everything. Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite line deliveries right here.
I'll have you know, my crew and I have been stranded on this planet. My crew and I have been stranded on this planet.
Stranded on this planet. This is acting. My crew and I have been stranded. I don't know. I feel like Primal he just sounds kind of stupid. He's like, I'm not Italian Nemesis crew. Come on.
We were on our way to end this conflict when you came crashing out of the sky.
Crashing out of the sky. I was not impressed with Optimus Primal's voice. Now, Beast Wars Megatron is already infamous at this point. I don't even have to tell you. He's already infamous at this point. But, it was worse than I expected. It was even worse than I expected. Primal, took me by surprise, because I hadn't really heard much about Primal. I thought, okay, what's he gonna sound like? And he just is like this big, it reminds me of in the old cartoons, back from my day, G1, back in the 80s. That's how the big stupid characters, like the big henchmen, would sound when you would have the villain and he would have his bodyguards, and they would be big and dumb, and hey, you guys! That was kind of how they sounded. That's how Primal reminds me of. But then Megatron got here. Like I said, he's infamous. We already know that it's bad, or at least I think that maybe some of you like it, and that's okay. That's okay if you do. Not hating if you like it, that's fine. Just saying. Brace yourselves. Because we know what Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron should sound like. Just try to think of that in your head. Get that in your head real quick, chat. Close your eyes. Picture Beast Wars Megatron sitting in his Energon bath with his rubber ducky. Get that voice, David K's Beast Wars Megatron voice in your head. And then brace yourself for this.
It is you, isn't it? Yes, Lord Megatron. Yes.
I don't know. Primal was referring to Nemesis Prime when he called you Nemesis. Thank you, Galvatron. Thank you for powering the space bridge. Hell yeah. Get that space bridge powered up there. Yeah. I know. Oh, Nemesis. They drug poor Nemesis into this too. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll get there, though. Like I said, I'm going to go, at least I'm going to try to go in chronological order. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Bergen08. Hi there. Hello. Destiny. Welcome. Delilah. All right. Britformer. Omegas. Good to see you all. All right. Hell yeah. Pound it. Good to see you all here. Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. Yeah, that was bad, but guess what? Guess what? That's probably the clip, if you've heard about the infamous voice acting, this is the clip I think that most people have heard, where he's, because it's the classic, yes. And let me try, I don't know if it's going to be as good as Dinobot, but I'm going to give it a try here. Let me clear the vocoder here.
Clear my vocalizer. Yes! Optimus Primal? I don't know, that's...
I'm can't remember any other Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron lines, but that's in my opinion. I feel like that's how he should sound, not like this guy. But it got even worse. It got worse. It didn't end there. It didn't end there. Remember the voice crack from Optimus Prime when he was begging Megatron for forgiveness? He was like, Megatron, I want you to forgive me. Remember that? Well, the voice cracks are back. When you do a sequel, you always gotta step it up, right? If there was one voice crack in the last one, the sequel's gotta have like 3 voice cracks. Well, they didn't disappoint. All right? Behold.
Besides, who are you to judge me? You sided with Nemesis. How do you know he's not using you?
Now, I don't know if you realize this, chat. If you haven't seen the show yet, maybe if you've seen the show, you realize. If you haven't seen the show, that was Beast Wars Megatron talking. Just then, that was Megatron. Galvatron, Beast Wars Megatron was fanboying G1 Megatron all over Kingdom, like him meeting their idol. He really was. And thank you. Hell yeah, Galvatron. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. Thank you for powering the space bridge. But he really was, though. He really was. Borderline simping, but definitely fanboying. It was kind of sad to watch. And again, it's like they saw that moment from the original show where we learned that Beast Wars Megatron took his namesake from G1 Megatron. He had that piece of the golden disc, and he had gotten some information from it, and he was saying that, this is where he got his namesake. But it wasn't like oh, I worship him. It was much more out of a respect. You could tell just by David Kay's performance and the way that the character was written, because that's one thing that Beast Wars, and it's a bit of an unfair advantage that Beast Wars had over Kingdom, which was that it had 3 whole seasons to flesh out the story, to flesh out the characters, whereas Kingdom had 6 episodes. Now, they could have maybe handled that differently, knowing that they had 6 episodes, maybe not try to do so much because a lot of things were rushed. But I will say that Beast Wars had more content to flesh out these characters. That being said, though, the original Beast Wars Megatron, you could tell, because he was a more fleshed out character, you could tell that he had taken the original Megatron's namesake out of respect, because it wasn't like a fanboying thing. He didn't worship him. He respected him. He wanted to honor him, to carry on that legacy as a conqueror. That was another thing, too. The original Beast Wars Megatron he was never delusional. This one seemed delusional. Let me play this clip again. And as much as the acting is terrible, listen to what he's saying as well.
You sided with Nemesis. How do you know he's not using you?
See, he's like being questioned right now. Primal's questioning him that, Megatron is using you. And Beast Wars Megatron, he's so desperate. He's so delusional. Well, how do you know you're not being used? And he would never use me, senpai. It's like senpai noticed me. He would never betray me.
Besides, who are you to judge me?
Right there, he won't even accept being questioned. It's like a religious fanatic. That's how this Beast Wars Megatron in Kingdom came across, as like a religious fanatic. I did not like that at all. It went against his original character so much. And that's not to say that his original character didn't have some fanatical moments, and even touched on religious fanatical moments when he had the Covenant of Primus. But he saw himself as the God character, not worshiping somebody else. Even if it was G1 Megatron, I know, but it's G1 Megatron as he took his name, yada, yada, yada. But Beast Wars Megatron, even in the original, even when he had his own religious fanatic moment, he himself was at the center of it. That was the difference. He saw himself as the centerpiece that would recreate reality and all this stuff. But it's just, the line delivery is terrible. And that's the thing, the combination. It'd be one thing, I could put aside the bad acting for a good story. And possibly even vice versa, although I really always prefer a good story. Even if the story was really bad, if they had got David Kaye to come in here, or Gary Chalk, and it would just be nice to hear them again. But it's like the worst of both worlds. It's terrible.
You sided with Nemesis. How do you know he's not using you?
What?
Now, this is, I got a few of these clips here. I had mentioned it earlier. And let me go ahead and get through these so I can catch up to the story where we're at chronologically. But these are a few clips of Optimus speaking so slowly that I think William Shatner would be like, could you hurry it up? Do you think you could move it along a bit? I mean, it really does. I mean, like, if they went to the Shatner School of Acting, man, they graduated with honors.
What has become of our attackers?
Okay, I didn't edit that or anything. That's a full... How many seconds is that? Hold on a sec.
Has become of our attackers.
That's a full 3-second pause. That is a full 3-second. William Shatner would be proud.
I am not suggesting that you abandon her. Simply that you hold your rescue attempt until...
It's just so awkward that you hold your rescue attempt until... It's like they took the lines that were recorded from other dialogue and spliced them together. Have you ever watched those YouTube poops from like video games like Mass Effect or Oblivion where they take the dialogue and splice it together to make them say different sentences? That's basically what this sounded like. Like they took his lines from a bunch of different moments. Listen to this again. Let me back this up and just sort of pay attention to how different each word sounds. It's like if you took the line from another word. It's the vocal equivalent to a ransom note. You know those ransom notes where they cut the letters out of a newspaper and magazine, so it's all like different letters and everything. You can't tell where they came from. It's like the vocal equivalent to that. It's like all these different chopped and spliced words.
I am not suggesting that you abandon her. Simply that you hold your rescue attempt until...
And I know I cut it in a weird spot. That's because Primal interrupts him there. So Prime was Optimus was done talking, but it's just like It's like they just took all these weird clips and put them together. And this right here sums up my feelings.
You are correct. I do not like it.
I do not like it, no. Galvatron! Oh yeah. There's a part where they say the only thing worse than the one Megatron is the two Megatrons. That's right. I remember that. That was Starscream and Black Arachnia. We're having a conversation because they basically make Black Arachnia sort of, even though she did switch sides in the original show, she's a bit more treacherous in this one. She doesn't have her good streak. She only really teams up with them out of necessity. It's not like how she turns good through her relationship with Silverbolt, because Silverbolt, sir, not appearing in this film. Oh, they did him wrong. They did him wrong, let me tell you. I know Waspinator isn't in here, and Tarantulas and a few other characters. Silverbolt was one of the ones. I don't think any Transmetal characters are in here, so maybe that's why. Maybe they're saving them for a future toy line. If they're going to do Transmetals, I don't even know if they're going to touch on that. Same thing with the Fusors, like Quick Strike. You know, they didn't have any of those characters either. So I believe that's what Silverbolt was, actually. He was a Fusor, and then Tarantulas became a Transmetal, although I don't think he started out as one. So I don't know why they didn't have him in there. Who knows? Who knows? Waspinator's the most confusing one, though, because he has an action figure coming out, so you would think they want to sell that. But, yeah, Silverbolt, they did him wrong. But before we get there, before I leave the voice acting clips, not only were the voices for Primal and Megatron just terrible, and of course Optimus is sounding like a William Shatner robot that's malfunctioning, but you had some really weird pronunciations. Now, I already showed you one of the voice cracks there with Beast Wars Megatron, but that's not all. We're going to get to a couple more, but there was also some weird pronunciations, and I know that we're fans of those because of Soylence. For anyone that was there for the live stream for Peter Cullen's birthday, Soylence has become a new favorite, so we love those mispronunciations. So let's get a couple of those. Chicken Master, yeah, none of the characters start as Transmetal. It's more so if they were toys that just were Transmetal and never were in the show, if they were going to bring them in. Fusors, I think, is what what I was thinking about. The characters start as Fusors, like Silverbolt started as a Fusor, Quick Strike started as a Fusor. I don't believe they were anything before that. But yeah, you are correct, Chicken Master, and welcome. Glad you could make it. Welcome. All right, so we had, like I said, we had Soylence from Saber Rider. So let's hear a couple of these odd pronunciations.
But you would have made a terrible Maximal.
Time is of the essence. We must return to Cybertron immediately.
If Galvatron's here, he isn't alone, which means we're gonna need a lot more firepower. I've got a terrible idea.
I don't know why that got me. Like I just died laughing when I heard anytime. I think these are the only two times he said it. Maybe he says it more throughout the show and I missed it. But anytime Primal says terrible, I just hear Cleveland, and it killed me. And then I don't know what with Prime, like you don't want to take another take. You don't want to record another go at that. You know what turn?
Maximal.
Time is of the essence. We must return to Cybertron immediately.
But you would have made a terrible Maximal.
Time is of the essence. We must return to Cybertron immediately.
If Galvatron's here, he isn't alone, which means we're gonna need a lot more firepower. I've got a terrible idea.
I've got a terrible idea, chat. A terrible idea. We must return. We have to go back. We've gone too far. We must return. Thank you, Galvatron. Thank you for powering the space bridge again. I appreciate that. Hell yeah. Found it. Hell yeah. Let me check that message. He also forgot fossilizers. Yeah, the fossilizers were a toy that they were advertising, like in their live streams. They were marketed pretty heavily, but they didn't put them in the show. You think they would put them in the show? It's sort of like what I was saying about getting the voices just right to help sell the figures. Get all the characters in the show. Cram them all in there. I mean, you're rushing through this stuff anyway. Spoiler warning, okay? I've said it a few times, but I'm going to give another spoiler warning. They killed Dinobot in the 3rd episode. I know there's only 6 episodes, so I mean, you can't have that much time to develop stuff anyway. But 3 episodes in, and they just go ahead and kill him off. That's why you saw him as a Force ghost. We'll get back to there. In fact, I think this was the last instance I had for the voice acting for now. And this was Prime, not to be outdone by Beast Wars Megatron with his voice crack, or Optimus Primal saying that we've been stranded here. But check out Prime here.
And it's over. Did Megatron do this to you? Megatron!
Megatron! I don't know what it is about Megatron that evokes such emotion in Optimus, but his voice quivers and quakes, and it cracks every time. I don't understand why.
Did Megatron do this to you? Megatron! It's terrible idea. And it's over. Did Megatron do this to you? Megatron!
Megatron! I don't know, it's just that voice crack. It kills me every time. Every time.
Risk my neck to save your tin-plated tail feathers, and this is how I get greeted?
Yeah, that's how I reacted to Rat Trap's voice. When I heard Rat Trap, that was my reaction. Everybody's just, oh, what was that? That didn't sound like Rat Trap at all. And oh, speaking of Rat Trap, here, let me clear my vocalizer again, see if I can pull off a Rat Trap voice, because the one that they had in here, as you just heard, he was real low like this. Oh, is that all the thanks I get? Oh, is that it? Okay. Is this the kind of greeting I get? How you doing? But really, he should sound, he's up here. We're all gonna die. I don't know. Rat Trap's not my best, but they didn't nail it on any of these. So as I mentioned before, they do kill Dinobot off in the 3rd episode. But guess what? He comes back as a Force ghost. Hey kids, you like Star Wars? You like the Jedi? You like the Force? Well, Dinobot comes back as a Force ghost. And he talks to Optimus Primal. Like, same thing straight up like Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Luke Skywalker. He's like guiding him. And one of the weirdest parts about it, and this thing did not make sense to me at all. I'm like, unless they have established this beforehand and I just missed it, this came out of left field. Dinobot, at one point, Optimus Primal is looking for a way inside this tower complex thing to find the Allspark. And Dinobot's ghost, his Force ghost, comes out of nowhere and possesses Primal, which somehow makes Primal a ghost, so he can just phase through the wall. I have no idea how that works, especially since in original Beast Wars lore, Starscream's ghost possesses Waspinator and does not make him a ghost. Now he possesses him in the sense where Waspinator sounds like him. He basically has control of his body, but his body is still corporeal. You know what I mean? It's still tangible. It doesn't make him phasing through stuff like Ghost Dad over here. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that at all. I just thought that, and I felt like it was cheap. It sort of goes back to what I was saying, how they didn't understand stuff about the lore, but not just that. It's just even general things. Like, they don't set this up. They don't establish how ghosts work, force ghosts work in this universe. They don't really establish that. And it just felt like sort of a lazy way to get out of the situation. Speaking of lazy, there was a lot of laziness I noticed. Now, this is something I haven't brought up till now. And I wonder, if, for any of you that watched it, for any of you that's watched all 6 episodes, did you notice there was an abundance of off-screen transformations? And even for some characters, for their first transformation, because usually these shows, it's like one of the tropes, if you will, for these types of shows with that have characters that transform, whether it's Transformers or something like Power Rangers or whatever. The first time that a character transforms, it's shown on screen. It's basically highlighted, like they'll come on center of the camera, sort of like slow-mo, like you see every detail. Think about the Bayverse movies. The first time you see Optimus transform or Bumblebee, it's a really big deal, and they do all these big camera movements and stuff. But after the first time, once you've seen the character transform, then okay, they might speed it up or maybe even do it off camera. But what I noticed was just an absolute abundance of off-camera transformations, and even some characters like Rat Trap, and I think even Air Razor as well, their first transformations, you don't even see. You just hear the sound off screen, and then they walk on the screen. Or sometimes they'll do like a dust cloud, like a big puff of dust, and hide the character. You'll hear the sound, and then they come out transformed into whatever mode from what they were. And it was to the point that it was noticeable. If it was just once or twice, to save on the budget, okay, that's one thing. But it was noticeable. It was a noticeable amount of off-screen transformations. Just felt really lazy. Sort of reminded me of Age of Extinction, where they had those transformations that were just the particle effects. Just the character models would just dissolve into particles and then reform. Like, I don't want to animate all these individual transformations. Screw it. Just gonna do particle effects. Who cares? Let me catch up with the chat here. King117, Beast Wars Megatron disappointed me so damn much. They ruined my boy on this one. Yeah, the iconic yes was terrible, and he only says it once, but that's probably a good thing, hearing how terrible he sounded. But it just, everything, like all of his line deliveries, his characterization, the whole like simping for, or maybe not simping, but fanboy, be an absolute fanboy for G1 Megatron. Like, oh, Senpai noticed me. Just terrible. Just ruined his character. Yeah, I felt the animation was a little lazy. I mean, the character models look nice. They're designed well. I like all the texture and the weathering and stuff that they have, and that's fine. But I feel like some of the animation falls short. This was another one of those convenient things, talking about lazy stuff. How Primal was able to phase in. Don't forget the critics who overpraised it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Galvatron. Well, we got to check out this Rotten Tomatoes link. Oh, boy. Oh, that should be interesting. Okay. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the critics, if it differs from the audience, because sometimes the critics review will be different from the audience. We'll see. We're going to find out. We'll have plenty of super chats to go over at the end of this. Thank you, Galvatron. I appreciate that. Yeah, another overly convenient thing that was happening throughout this season was, once Optimus gets the Matrix back, it gives him this beam of light that is straight up out of a video game. I mean, right up, like any sort of sci-fi type video game, like Dead Space or something like that. I can't really put my finger on which game exactly, but I know I've played a game where they have this beam of light. It's not necessarily constant. You press a button or, click the mouse, whatever it may be, to activate it on your heads-up display. But it shows you. It's like, here's where the next quest objective is. it's this way to the MacGuffin. And he has this thing. As soon as he gets the Matrix back, it's just like, all right, here we go. So I don't know. It was another instance of laziness. I felt that they were just to move the characters from one point to another. If ever they couldn't think of it, or put them in a dead end or something, it's just, oh hey. Fortress Maximus says they should have shown the Transformer. That's just those makers that are too lazy or being assholes about it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Fortress Maximus. I mean, like I said, once you've shown that initial transformation, I'm fine if you show it off screen. I understand that animation takes time and it's expensive and all that, but it's kind of a tradition at this point that when characters transform for the first time, you show it. Again, it sells toys. You're trying to sell toys, right? Holy fuck, boys. It's the Oracle. This was just some random, I'm like, okay, I guess, is this supposed to be like the Oracle from Beast Machines? I don't know. Speaking of selling toys, do you think that that's why they did this to Scorponok? They did Scorponok wrong. They made him the troop builder in this season. Remember how they did that to Reflector? Reflector, it made a little bit more sense because there was at least 3 of him to begin with, but they used him way too much. People were complaining about that in Siege. And maybe in Earthrise as well, but I know it was a big problem in Siege, the reuse or over reuse of character models. And we didn't get away from it. I thought we were. We were doing pretty well up until the end here. Bug says, you have a topical meme for this? Oh, hell yeah, Bug. Hell yeah. Yeah, they did Scorponok wrong, in my opinion. He didn't really get to do much. He didn't have much screen time. And then they end up showing him as the one that they duplicate his character model. So he's just like the stormtrooper of this season. Terrible, terrible. Here we have Prime, just walking along with Bumblebee. This is so out of character. I hate Bumblebee. That's how we know this is fake. This is a fake Prime. But yeah, just casually walking along with my MacGuffin beam, leading the way. Notice how he does it? It's like he doesn't even have to pay attention. Just follow along. Well, it takes all the tension away too. Like, how are they going to find it? Oh, they have the flashlight of guidance. Oh, that gets to the end of the slideshow, but I do have some more video clips here. A few more to talk about. So a few more characters that seemed a bit not like themselves. Let's see if am I at the spot in the video? Okay, so these were just a few funny moments. I don't know why I found this so amusing, but I'm just going to share these with you, just as a brief intermission. I don't know why I found that so amusing. The way that Lord Galvatron. Don't forget the oh yeah, the fossilizers. How could they? How dare they? F's in the chat for the fossilizer. F's in the chat for Tigatron. He gets no love here. RC, Megatron, just kicking the shit out of him. Alright. Yeah, you just saw Bumblebee walk by? Where is Bumblebee? We gotta get him out of here. That's so out of character. I can't believe I would just be casually walking around with Bumblebee. That would never happen, and we all know it. I feel better now. All right. But don't Don't get too comfortable. You're not going to feel that much better for long. Because this is one of the things that I felt was ruined the most when it comes to characters. Okay, so we've got Beast Wars Megatron, he's probably the most out of character because the voice is wrong, the personality is wrong, his motives are wrong. Because like I said, he was at the centerpiece of his own religious fanaticism, and he was viewed himself as a conqueror. He didn't want to revitalize Megatron or revitalize Cybertron or anything like that. He just wanted to rule. So yeah, this one had the wrong motives, he had the wrong personality, he had the wrong voice. So I think Beast Wars Megatron sort of falls as the most severe out of character one. The next one, in my opinion, would be Black Arachnia. Because, yes, she has her treacherous side. She was always a sort of treacherous character that would betray the Predacons, work with the Maximals for a bit. She developed that relationship with Silverbolt, but then she still sort of had her bad side, and she would work with the Predacons from time to time. She kind of went back and forth. She was a complicated character, a complex character. It made her interesting, in fact. This one is a little bit more cut and dry. She's just sort of sinister, like looking out for herself. Doesn't really want to serve under anyone. Rather just sort of look out for herself, whatever is benefiting her at the time. She does betray a couple of people, but what seems most out of character is that they go out of their way, and this is where we've talked. If you guys are familiar with some of my recent streams where I've called out Hasbro for some of their crap with CRT, pushing CRT and the woke nonsense, and not just Hasbro, but I've done streams on a lot of woke trash. There's one screen where Optimus thought making Bumblebee Autobot leader. Oh no, I don't even. No, don't remind me. Please, Galvatron, no. Please don't remind me of that. I don't even want to think of Bumblebee being the leader. You know what's sad? And thank you, Galvatron. Thank you for powering the space bridge. I appreciate that. But you know what's sad is that Bumblebee was one of the fastest talking characters in this show. Everyone else talked really slow. But anyway, for those of you that are familiar with my recent streams and some of my recent content about Hasbro and some of the woke stuff, they've been, pushing it here and there. And this is one of those instances where it just seems so out of character for Black Arachnia, and I couldn't help but feel like, okay, we know why you're doing this. And so I gathered a couple of clips here and see if you can gather what I'm saying here, because I've mentioned Silverbolt already. He doesn't appear in this. None of the Fusors do, but Silverbolt, even though he wasn't in here, it doesn't mean that they necessarily have to do what they did with Black Arachnia. She had a definite type that she described in the original Beast Wars. This is one of those things where I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, at the beginning of the review anyway, where Beast Wars, or Kingdom rather, seemed like they knew some things about Beast Wars or some things about the characters in Beast Wars, and either just straight up didn't know other things, or overlooked them, or intentionally ignored them and changed them. And this is one of those things. Black Arachnia she had a definite type. Like, she would talk when she and Silverbolt would flirt, because he was so goody two shoes, sometimes it would get on her nerves, but she also found it endearing. But she would tell him that, it was a good thing that he was, tall, dark, and handsome, all these kind of, she had all these descriptors that she would rattle off from time to time when they would have their back and forth dialogue. But it was basically the descriptors for her type, what she liked. And they throw all of that out the window here. You'll see what I mean.
Oh, the pink one's cute.
Oh! Now, not only is she saying the pink one is cute, which pink is not her type at all. Like, Black Arachnia, like I said, she described it in the original series. It's just like Dinobot, repeatedly making reference to
being able to smell Rat Trap, and then they just overlook that. Black Arachnia made repeated references to what she liked about Silverbolt, and it was nothing about, anything pink. She certainly didn't view herself, and not just about her type. Okay, let's put that aside. Let's put her type aside. Oh, Galvatron, who you think is a much worse leader, Bumblebee or Rodimus Prime? Oh, that's a good question. Thank you. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to focus on that when we go to the Super Chats, Galvatron. Thank you. But let's put aside Black Arachnia's description of her type, describing what she liked about Silverbolt, because he's not in the show. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's go about what Black Arachnia herself is like, and why she wouldn't necessarily like RC. The pink one. I like RC. Because when Silverbolt, for instance, he compared her to the planet Venus. And he said, there's this star in the sky, it's actually the planet Venus, and it reminds me of you. And Black Arachnia is like, oh, you mean hot, dark, and poisonous, or whatever. She described it the way, because Venus has a toxic atmosphere, so it's like a poisonous. So she's like, oh, and it's close to the sun, so she's, oh, it's hot and poisonous and all this stuff. And dangerous, I think, is how she, hot, dangerous, and poisonous, something like that. So it's basically, that's her style. That's her style. So she's described what she likes when she talks about Silverbolt. She describes how she is about herself. So this just seems really out of character. But on top of that, of all the group that she picks, gotta be RC. I wonder why.
Oh, the pink ones. Cute.
I'll rip all 8 of your legs off. Karen, I like it rough.
My hero.
So there, it's not an isolated incident either, as you can see. And isn't this a kid show?
Karen, I like it rough.
Isn't this a kid show? I noticed a couple of instances where the characters said, like, damn. And I know they said that in the original movie too, like, damn it open and all that, but who is this show for? Who is this for?
I'll rip all 8 of your legs off. Karen, I like it rough.
Oh, I don't know, chat. And like I said, it's nothing wrong with having a girl-on-girl relationship. I just feel that it's wildly out of character for Black Arachnia. Because, I mean, and think about it, that's her form. Her alt mode is a Black Widow. It's like the Marvel character Black Widow. Like, that's the whole thing, is you use your feminine wiles, your advantages against the men. Yeah, stole Rat Trap's line. Rat Trap didn't even get to say his iconic line. He never said we're all gonna die. Yeah, Bug, I was wondering what you would think about that. I had to put that reaction of Tigatron in there. And then this last clip here is just for Silverstorm, if you're still in the chat.
Please.
Please.
All right, so that's all the clips I had. So what did you think, chat? What did you think? If you've seen it, what are your thoughts on it? Like I said, I don't care if you liked it. I'm not gonna hate on anybody for liking it. These are just my thoughts and opinion on it, because I'm a fan of Beast Wars. I really love the original series. I loved how the characters were fleshed out. They were complex characters, and like I said before, I know that it sort of had an unfair advantage over Kingdom having 3 seasons worth of episodes compared to just 6 episodes. So they got to, do a lot more. So I get that. But I'm a huge fan of the original. I was really looking for some of that to be here, and it just felt like none of it was here. It's like they didn't get the voices. Black Arachnia's voice actress did pretty well. I'll give her credit. She sounded all right. Tigatron sounded more like Dinobot, and Dinobot sounded more like Tigatron. Rat Trap was lackluster. Rhinox was okay. But the 2 main ones, Primal and Beast Wars Megatron, were terrible. Oh, and one last thing before I forget about the ending. I didn't take like a screenshot of this or anything because there was really nothing to screen cap. It was more just like the results, like the consequences of what happens at the end. So one last little spoiler warning here, but at the end, they get the Ark. Remember how that big Ark Transformer was revealed recently? It was the big like transforming figure, Titan class, whatever they call it. And it's basically the Ark that just transforms into a giant robot. So that happens at the end of Kingdom, and then it punches the Nemesis, the ship, the Decepticon ship. It punches it, just punches it once, and it kind of tilts over a little bit, and they're like, "That's it, we win." But then they get the Ark powered up, and back into ship to the ship mode, flight mode, whatever you want to call it, and they fly off. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something here because wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, but if the Ark doesn't stay there for the next millions of years, when the Autobots are supposed to be dormant until they awaken in the year 2005 or whatever year it was in the 80s cartoon. But if that never happens now, did they just undo G1? Does that mean that I never exist? Does that mean I don't exist? Chat? Did they erase me? Did they erase me from existence?
No, Prime. You are a temporal anomaly that exists outside the standard time flow. Especially of whatever time stream that particular show takes place in. I think Netflix is in its own contained universe, so it wouldn't affect you one way or the other. But you are a temporal anomaly nonetheless, so fear not.
Oh, good to know. All right, so let's get to these super chats. I'm going to head back to the studio, and we're going to read these super chats. Hell yeah, Pounded Galvatron, I appreciate you powering the space bridge. See what we've got here. All right. Oh, and right now, we got another one. Hell yeah. Arc Scene Robot was cool. They did forget Cyclonus and poor Silverbolt and Tigertron with their broken hearts. Yes. That's in the chat for the broken hearts. All right, so I'm going to go back to your first one. I'm going to try to go in order here. So let's see, Superior Couple. So let's open this. I'm going to have to go back down to the reaction. Whoa! That's loud. Let me turn that down. I'm going to go back to the reactor room, pull this up. The Galvatron wanted us to check this out. Oh yeah, this was from Sailor Moon. That's right. They were a lesbian couple. That's right. They were doing that in Sailor Moon before it was cool. Japan is just like, yeah, check it out. We don't care. Oh, okay. Even in the face of danger. I like that. Hell yeah, Galvatron. They were a good couple. I liked the original Japanese characters of Sailor Moon. They had better personalities. Primal was referring to Nemesis Prime. Yeah. I like how he did say, Nemesis, the ship. And then, of course, Primal is still like, no! No! Beast Wars Megatron was fanboying for G1 Megatron all over Kingdom like a kid meeting their idol. He was. He was like, Senpai, notice me. Please notice me, Senpai. And finally he did. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful when you have somebody that you look up to like that. You can't worship your heroes like that. That's bad. That's dangerous. Dangerous.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Optimus. Megatron is worthy of such adoration, such worship. You yourself should throw yourself at his feet and worship him as Beast Wars Megatron did. Nah, get out of here with that nonsense, Shockwave. No way, no way. There's a part where they say the only I'm sorry, this is another one from Galvatron. There is a part where they say the only thing worse than one Megatron is two Megatrons. Also, they forgot the fossilizers. They advertise a lot, and we didn't see them, so they wasted making a whole new gimmick. Yeah, it was just a gimmick, just completely wasted. I agree, Galvatron. I agree. That's a lot of wasted opportunity in this. They didn't say iconic lines. They should have had. I talked about before with the Laserbeak chasing Air Razor and the very brief wrestling match. I don't even know what you want to call it. It was just like they kind of wrestled briefly with Ravage and Cheetor. And I feel like Soundwave's tapes could have had a lot more interaction, and they could have brought in Ratbat, But yeah, that's right. That's right. What a wasted potential. That's right. Pound it. Another one from Galvatron. All right. They forgot the fossilizers. You thought that they would be damaged stasis pods. Or stasis pods. Yeah, damaged stasis pods. But it was just more wasted potential. All right, so let's check out Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what they've got to say here about Kingdom. Okay, well, this actually surprises me. It's got an 83% among the critics and 85% among audience. Now, there's only 20 ratings for the audience and only 6 for the critics. Let's see what they have to say here. The influx of new characters and backgrounding of older ones contributes to Kingdom being hard to follow, especially with all the dense exposition that needs to be delivered. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was actually a rotten review. They didn't. No, most of these are positive here. It's a satisfying conclusion, an epic and fitting conclusion. So most of these are saying that they felt like it was a fitting conclusion or an epic conclusion. And then we've got one here that says it was a bit confusing with all the exposition and the new characters taking the spotlight, despite them not getting fleshed out. I mean, Optimus Primal, I guess, was kind of in the spotlight, but other than him being irritated that they got lost or whatever, he was like, oh, you were out gallivanting around the stars, and then we had to deal with your mess. I mean, there wasn't really much to Primal, so yeah, that was a shame. That was a shame. There was another one from Galvatron here. There was one scene where Optimus thought that making Bumblebee Autobot leader, he were to die there too. You think Bumblebee is worse than Rodimus Prime, who also didn't appear along with Cyclonus? Yeah, Cyclonus wasn't in here at all. They had Galvatron. They had Unicron. No Cyclonus, no Scourge. No, they were nowhere to be found. Maybe they haven't been created yet. Because the Seekers are still around. So maybe they haven't been created yet. But let's see, who would be worse, Bumblebee or Rodimus? You know what? I gotta say Bumblebee, because Bumblebee would probably try to
he would try to actually do it. He would think, Bumblebee's stupid enough to think that he's capable of doing it. So he would try. He would actually try to be leader. And I don't want that. Rodimus knows he sucks. And so he would give it up eventually. Like whenever I come back from the dead, because I always do. You know I'm always coming back. And so whenever I do, Rodimus would gladly give it up. He knows he sucks. So yeah, my vote is for Rodimus. All right, we got another one here from Galvatron. Let's see. Arc Scene Robot was cool. They did forget Cyclonus and also poor Silverbolt and Tigertron. Yeah, broken hearts F in the chat, man. Wow. But yeah, the Arc transformation scene was cool. I'll give him that.
I was really disappointed with Rampage not being in Kingdom 1 of the most deadliest Transformers IM history, just being ignored.
That's right, King 117. Pound it. Thank you for powering the space bridge. Disappointed with Rampage not being in Kingdom? Yeah, now he wasn't a Transmetal. Was he a Fusor? What was Rampage? Because he started out the way he was. I don't think he got any upgrades or anything. Him and Depth Charge both, I believe, stayed the way they were. I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I need to go back. But yeah, Depth Charge and Rampage, one of the greatest rivalries in the entire franchise. I'm not just talking about Beast Wars. I'm talking about in all of Transformers franchise. Rampage and Depth Charge. What a great rivalry. Another missed opportunity. I hope they make another toy of Rampage and Depth Charge for that matter. Wouldn't it be great if we got some new figures of those guys? Oh man, but hell yeah, King 117. I appreciate that. Pound it. Galvatron, powering the space bridge. All right, we're almost there. It's almost open. About to light the darkest hour. All right. Want to show pictures to taunt the dummies. More Discord PMs. All right, Galvatron. Yeah, go for it. Let me catch up with the chat here. Good luck getting someone to succeed Campbell Lane for voicing Rampage. Oh yeah, and see, that was another thing too. Talking about the voices, one of the reasons why I pick on the voices so much, it's I don't mean to just pick on them to make fun of them. It's because there's something that we as the fans have come to expect from the Transformers franchise in general, but especially when you're talking about original series like G1, Beast Wars, and really if they start bringing in characters from the Unicron trilogy, I know that it has its fair share of haters, but it also has its fair share of fans of the Unicron trilogy. And that has very distinct voices as well. Like Starscream had a very distinct voice, and of course Gary Chalk and David Kay continued on as their roles as Optimus Prime and Megatron respectively. And so when you go back to these origin series within the Transformers franchise, there's an established level of voice acting that we expect. You've got Peter Cullen and Frank Welker in G1. You've got Gary Chalk and David Kay, Scott McNeil. Oh man, how could I leave out Scott McNeil? Because he was Dinobot, Waspinator, Silverbolt. And we come to expect a certain level. And not that everybody has to do a perfect impression of the voice actor if they can't get the original voice actor. It's fine to do your own thing. I even sort of do my own original take of Optimus myself here, just to make it a little more humorous, a little more relaxed. Plus, I feel like I'm sort of the old school, the younger Optimus, where he would talk trash. You're trash, Megatron. That's all you are. Yesterday's trash. That's sort of the Optimus I go for. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing your own thing, but if it doesn't even meet that standard, then people are going to notice because we want that quality. So that's why I don't mean to, just pick on the voice acting for no reason just to make fun of it. I mean, there were certainly some funny moments, but we're just not getting it. We're just not getting it. Topical meme and DMs. All right, bud. All right, let's check this out. I'll head back down to the reactor room so we can pull this up. Oh, what turn? What turn to Cybertron? That's right. What turn? We must what turn. If we don't, it's going to be terrible. Wait, I think I actually... Hold on. Send pics and I'll check Discord. All right. I'm getting there, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
But you would have made a terrible Maximum.
Time is of the essence. We must return to Cybertron immediately.
I like how he gets shot for that bad line read. How dare you? How dare you mispronounce things? We don't have time, though. Time is of the essence. We have to get back. We have to return to Cybertron. There's no time for a second take. There is no time. All right, let me get all these images open. So we've got, these are requested from Galvatron here. Galvatron, you'll have to tell us who these characters are. I didn't get that far in Sailor Moon. I'm going to have to return to Sailor Moon, watch some more of that sometime. I don't know who these characters are. But hey, they look interesting. They do indeed look interesting. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you, Bug. Thank you. Oh, Galvatron, powering the space bridge. Oh, yeah. Pound it. Well, I almost cloned myself there. I got a little ahead of myself. All right, we've got a video to react to. All right, let's check this out. Here we go. All right, it says, P.S. Bug, you're going to like this. All right, so let's check this out. Thank you, Galvatron. Thank you.
How to fly a drone. You will need a drone and a remote control.
Man, I like that
Step
song,
1,
though.
Turn on the drone.
Get back to the music. I like
Turn on
that.
the remote control. If required, sync the remote control to the drone. Press the takeoff button.
Oh, why? This got so violent. It's nerf for nothing! It's nothing! It's nerf for nothing!
Scoop up the drone, place the drone into a frying pan over medium heat. Melt 3
that looks
tablespoons
delicious.
of unsalted
That looks
butter in
delicious.
the frying pan. Add
I'm
1
getting
large
hungry, chat.
chopped onion, 2 diced garlic cloves,
Getting
3
hungry.
diced celery stalks, 3
Are you writing this down, Bumblebee?
1/3
You better
cup
write this
whole
recipe
wheat
down.
flour. Cook
I want this for later.
constantly for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Add
Ah.
2½ cups of chicken stock.
Oh,
1
man, this is-
tablespoon of
this is
salt,
healthy.
1
This is
tablespoon of
nutritious
cracked
for you,
black
too.
Pepper. Stir. Add half a cup of heavy cream, 4 cups of shredded cooked chicken, 1 cup
Oh,
of
yeah, you
frozen
gotta add that
peas,
chicken.
1
Yeah.
tablespoon
Oh,
of
yeah.
chopped fresh thyme. Stir until thoroughly combined together. Remove from heat. Transfer the drone into a large pie dish. Place 1 sheet of
Yeah, I like
flat
the
pastry
music in the
over top of
background.
the
I can just
roll.
listen to
Here's
that
the
the whole
puff
time.
Pastry with a sharp knife. Set the oven to 200 degrees
That's
Celsius.
my jam.
by force. Place the drone in the oven. Bake the drone for 30 minutes. Remove drone from oven. Place on bench top. Turn on the drone. Turn on the remote control. Sync the remote control to the drone. Press the takeoff button.
All right, we're delivering it. We're going to return to Cybertron. It's going to return to Cybertron. It's almost there. No, yep. Okay, you made it. Yep. Return to Cybertron. We made it. Alita, welcome. Glad you can make it. You want to hear some brilliant voice acting from Kingdom? There's only so much time. Alita. Only so much time.
Until you are correct. I do not like it.
But you would have made a terrible Maximal.
Time is of the essence. We must return to Cybertron immediately.
We must return! We have to go back. We have to go back. We've come too far. We've come too far. All right. I don't know, chat. Maybe it'll get better from here. Maybe they'll think about what they've done, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, there's a lot of people who like the show. I don't know. I miss the classic voices. I miss the classic voices. You know what? I'm going to keep it going. How long have we been going? An hour and a half? Chat, who wants to stay around? The space bridge has almost been powered. I'm not tired yet. You guys want to hear some more ridiculous voice acting that's not from Kingdom? Who still functions? Who's made of sterner stuff? Or should we wrap it up here and save it for another stream? We can always save it for another stream. Fortress Maximus, did I see what you typed earlier? I didn't. I'm sorry. It's hard to keep up with the chat sometimes. Yeah, Battleframe, that's what I'm saying. They took Prime's lines. It sounds like they took his lines and just mixed them together from previous recording. It doesn't sound right at all. Listen to this.
What has become of our attackers? I am not suggesting that you abandon her. Simply that you hold your rescue attempt until you are correct. I do not like it.
But
I don't like it either. That's the only thing we agree on there. Netflix Prime. I don't like it either. I don't like it. Okay, let's go to the Sterner Stuff playlist here. I got something. I've been saving this, actually. I've been saving this for when the space bridge got powered up. And we're practically there. I want to give a shout out to everybody, especially Galvatron. Thank you. I really appreciate that. King 117. Hell yeah. Pound it. So, for any of you that don't know, this was a PlayStation 2 Japanese exclusive Transformers game
that focused around the G1 characters. And just like I was talking about with Kingdom, you expect a certain level of quality from the voices, and when you don't get it, well, it can go one of two ways. You either laugh or cry. I think we're gonna do a little bit of both. Jazz with that final, we've done it. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you. We have powered the space bridge. We powered the space bridge. Oh, we're gonna have you. Do you realize we're gonna have so many upgrades on the next stream? This is gonna be awesome. All sorts of characters. Okay, it's time. Hold on. Before we gotta have some fun here. What's that? Thought. Hold on. Trying to think of that song where it's like a classic music, fireworks. Whoa, that's loud. There you go. That's shit. I messed up my voice, but it was worth it. It was worth it. All right. All right. Let's go back to what I was supposed to be showing for you here. Just wanted to have a little fun there since we powered the space bridge. Had to have a little fun there. Pics I sent are the Sailor Starlights, who are both genders. Oh, interesting. In the manga, they cross-dress, but in the anime, they change their gender. However, the series creator, Naoko Takeuchi, didn't like it because it broke his biggest rule of only girls can be scouts. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was a rule. See, I need to familiarize myself with the Sailor Scout lore. I don't know as much about the Sailor Scout lore. I need to learn that. I didn't know that. Okay, so only girls. Interesting. Well, thank you for that, Galvatron. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. All right, let's get into some more Transformers stuff. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm glad you still function. Sailor Starlights are quality Bobo. Hell yeah.
Lured out by a simple fake message from Soundwave.
Okay, so as you can see already, I found you the best Galvatron that I could, or I'm sorry, Megatron. See, he's so good, I can't even tell who he is. I was reading the name Galvatron there. All right, so yeah, here we go. I found you the best voice actors.
Are you really the commander here? Is this some kind of joke? The Autobots must be full of incompetence. The precious power of Energon is far too good for the likes of you idiots. The Energon in your shuttle is now ours.
This is the best. This
What?
is great.
I get it now. You were planning to steal it as soon as you lured us away from the shuttle.
What? Wait. Why does he sound like that? Hold on.
Stop it meaning to steal it as soon as you lured us away from the shuttle. Stop it, Megatron.
Stop it, Megatron. It sounds like Megatron's like my big brother and he's picking on me. Stop it, Megatron.
So we heard your thoughts about the Netflix Beast Wars show. How do you feel about the Beast Wars comic? It's just reached issue 6 and 7 with a new Bat, Maximal, who could be homage to how you were supposed to look in the original concept.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you, King117. You know, I've seen a little bit about that Beast Wars comic. I remember when it was just on its way out, and it was like maybe the first issue or two had come out, and they were talking about some of the things that they had changed in that because that had like cannibalism or something, like the characters are eating each other. I remember it was reminding me of Marvel Ultimate, where the Blob was eating characters. It was weird. But I need to catch up on that. I haven't read everything. The bat form that you mentioned, though, I know exactly what you're talking about because I had that toy. It was a 2-pack. It came in a 2-pack with an old comic book that had those forms, but the 2-pack was the Bat, Optimus Primal, and the Alligator, Megatron. And they were these, I believe they were called Basic at the time. It was sort of like what Scout Class is now, like one size below Deluxe. And they had this quick change feature. You would flip up their tails, and they would automatically transform into their robot mode. And yeah, Optimus Primal was a bat, and he had swords under his wings. He had the 2 swords just like Primal does, the Monkey Primal, with the kind of curved blade, almost looks like a pirate type sword. He had those under his bat wings, and it was cool because the curvature matched the bat wing. So it was really cool. And then Megatron was an alligator. We never saw those in the Beast Wars show. They only showed up in the toy line and the pack-in comic, of course. But yeah, if they're bringing those back in the series, that makes me interested to check it out. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. You know what I'll do is I'll read up on those and we'll do a stream. We'll cover those in a live stream. Hell yeah. Galvatron with another. We're gonna have extra fuel for the space bridge. We're gonna have fuel left over for the next space bridge. We're gonna be able to go to multiple locations. Hell yeah. New dimensions, new timelines. You see, I'm in G1 right now, and most of the others here are G1 as well. Even though Starscream is Fall of Cybertron, it's still basically G1. But now that we've powered the space bridge, the next time you see us, we may be in future forms. We may be in Beast Wars forms. Galvatron says the reason you never heard of Sailor Starlights is because the 5th and final season wasn't released until it was very recently released in 2019. Wow. You know, it's always good when they finally get caught up on old shows like that. All right, I gotta hear this Optimus voice again, telling Megatron to stop it like he's some big brother that's bullying him. This is cracking me up.
Away from the shuttle. Stop it, Megatron.
Stop it, Megatron, you big meanie.
Stop it! If you really want to stop me, come and get me!
I like how even Megatron makes fun of the way he says it. Look at, he's like, stop it, you baby.
If you really want... Stop it! If you really want to stop me, come and get me, Optimus Prime! But I suspect my fusion cannon will scrap your little shuttle long before I hear the sound of your tires. You heard him. He'll be here soon, all of you. Make sure to give him a full welcome.
Oh shit, he was doing the long pauses before Netflix. Did you hear that? He took a full breath. You could hear him take a full. I didn't know Cybertronians breathe like that. You could. He goes, give him a full. Welcome.
Give him a full welcome.
Welcome.
Make sure to give him a full welcome.
Silence! Silence, Megatron! You're breathing too loudly. This is amazing. This is better than Kingdom. This is way better than I'm loving this. Oh shit, the Coneheads! Wait a minute, there's two. Hold on a second, chat. What's wrong with this picture, chat? What's wrong with this picture? There's one too many. I didn't know that they had G1 animation errors in the video games too. I thought that was just in the cartoon. I thought that only in the old 80s cartoon that they have animation errors like this, where the characters are duplicated. Hail Megatron. There's two thrusts in here. There's too many thrusts. You know it can be dangerous when you have too many thrusts. Silence! Silence! Getting too carried away. Getting too carried away. Phrasing. But welcome, chat. I'm glad you're all still here. If anybody new shows up, make sure you give them a big welcome. They couldn't even get the transition right. Were those the right tune? Da 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 da.
Mission completed. Returning to base.
Yeah, he sounds better than the Kingdom sound.
Wait! Stop, Jazz! We don't have time to deal with Soundwave.
Yeah, Jazz. Stop, Jazz. Listen, Jazz. We don't have time to deal with Soundwave. Okay? He sounds better than his Netflix counterpart, so leave him alone. Just let him get away. Trust me. Trust me. We want him to stick around with that beautiful voice.
PlayStation 2 Soundwave superior. Netflix Soundwave inferior.
Galvatron, continuing to power the space. Hell yeah, we are going to parts unknown. Hell yeah. Thank you, Galvatron. Thank you. We are going to parts unknown with this. Let's see what it says there. Let's see. Check your DMs because you found an anime waifu from Megatron. Oh, really? Oh, really? I am Megatron. I don't simp for anyone. I'm the one who others simp for. I guess you could call me the Simpy. I'm not the one who does the simping. But let's see anyway what your DMs contain. Something called Sailor Galaxia. Well, she does look nice. It's not something I would simp for. As I said, I'm not the one who does the simping. But nice try, Galvatron. I like your name. If it makes you feel any better, I do like your name. Well, he does have a point there. It's rare that I see Megatron simping over anyone.
Our shuttle is under attack. We've got to do something.
We've got to do something. Move over, Peter Cullen. Out of the way, Hot Rod. There's no more. Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. Oh no, no, no. It's, we've got to do something.
Our shuttle is under attack. We've got to do something.
We shall search for the CYBEE planet keys.
Our planets are in danger. That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, King 117. Hell yeah. We do need to search for the cyber planet keys. Because our worlds are in danger. We've got to do something. I gotta hear this one more time.
Our shuttle is under attack. We've got to do something.
We've got to do something. Our worlds are in danger, dude. I like how Prime's totally a bro in this. Our worlds are in danger, dude. We've got to do something. We can't just let them attack our shuttle, bro.
This isn't good.
Oh, shit. This isn't good. Wheeljack. Wheeljack, they drug you into this, buddy. They drug poor Wheeljack into this. Oh, no. No, please. I was trying to take the night off, you know. I installed all the ejector seats recently. I thought I wasn't gonna be featured in your Netflix review because, you know, my voice wasn't that horrible in Kingdom, and I didn't have that many lines anyway. But now you're telling me that I'm gonna be the spotlight of this? Oh, get out of here. I don't make the rules, Wheeljack. I just enforce them. Shockwave? The chat wants you yeeted again? I'm sorry, Shockwave, but it's just going to have to happen. For the greater good. The greater good? I'm sick of riding on Starscream! I bet everybody is. I'm sure that's not the first time that someone has said that. Shockwave. Oh, Sailor Galaxia is power hungry? Well, I don't know if that would be a good match for Megatron, because Megatron wants all the power. This isn't good.
We've got to do something.
This isn't good. The shuttle won't last long against the great Emperor of Destruction.
Oh, I really like how he put his all into that. This isn't good. The shuttle won't last long against the great Emperor of Destruction. I think he woke up. He must have been asleep for like the beginning of that. And he woke up at the end.
If only I'd stayed behind. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Wheeljack. Anyway, we've got to hurry through the valley and get back to the shuttle.
Anyway.
I don't think they'll let us get through without a fight.
Wait a minute. Why is Jazz British? Wait a minute.
And get back to the shuttle.
I don't think they'll let us get through without a fight. Let's get into formation and get ready for them.
I guess you're right. Okay, let's do it. Our shuttle has been targeted by the Decepticons. We must hurry back. Autobots, roll out!
Oh, that was pretty epic. That Autobots, roll out. Oh, he's got us beat. He's got us beat on that one.
What is this?
What? What is this? That's some Resident Evil level voice acting. That's like Jill Sandwich. What is this?
What is this? There's some sort of invisible wall here. This must be the work of the Decepticons. Are they trying to prevent us from moving on?
That's right. This is as far as you go, Autobots.
So, you've shown yourself. Get ready to fight. The battle begins.
Who said that at the end there? It was like, the battle begins. The stage is set. The legend will never die. Was that Psycho Mantis? And thank you, Galvatron. Thank you. Thank you for powering the space bridge. Yeah, hell yeah. And King117 wants us to check out a death battle, so let's check that out. We'll take a break from this terrible voice act. It's not terrible, it's actually wonderful. I love it. It's my new favorite thing. This is better. I'm enjoying this more than Kingdom. This is my new favorite thing. All right. Let's see, King117, oh, the Sailor Galaxia versus Beerus. Okay, hell yeah, we'll check that out. Sounds like fun, hell yeah. Megalaxia? Is that okay, ship Megatron and Sailor Galaxia. Megalaxia? Is that really what it's called, Galvatron? That sounds like something to help you with your bowel movements. You know, when I'm feeling really blocked up, I take some Megalaxia and it clears me right out. All right, here we go. Let's check this out. Thank you again for powering the space bridge. Hell yeah. You guys are awesome. I do appreciate it. I really do. This is what keeps the moon base in orbit, keeps us streaming. And like I said, we will have several upgrades next stream. I'm going to be taking us to other dimensions. We're going to have new backgrounds, new character models. Probably going to get a Beast Wars design for everybody. I am feeling Beast Wars right now. We're going to do that. Hell yeah. All right, let's check out this death battle of Lord Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia. Megalaxia. When you've had too many pizza rolls, when you've had too much cheese. You remember anybody ever used to have those poke wars on Facebook? You know, back when you used Facebook, you ever get into a poke war with somebody? This is what it would look like. This is basically what was happening inside the internet. Whenever you were having a poke war on Facebook. You don't mess with his ice cream, man. You don't mess with his ice cream. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding, man. You don't mess with that ice cream. Yeah, Sailor Moon Z. Next time on Sailor Moon Z, Beerus gets another ice cream. But when it drops on the ground, the whole Earth could be in danger. What flavor will he choose? Will it be vanilla or chocolate chip? Come on, man. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that one before. For a second there, I thought Beerus was going to lose. You know, I was rooting for Beerus. I'm more of a Dragon Ball fan myself, so I'll admit I was rooting for Beerus. I thought he was going to lose for a second there. Oh. That was awesome. Thank you. All right, chat. Well, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream now because we've been going for a couple of hours. And I want to save some more of that Transformers footage for another stream because that's like my new favorite. That's my new favorite thing to watch right now. So we'll save that for a whole other stream. Death Battle lowballed. Death Ball low battled Galaxia because they forgot about her reincarnation powers. Lord Galvatron, I feel like you could school us all on Sailor Moon, you know? I feel like you could just take us all to school on Sailor Moon, tell us everything we need to know. Hell yeah, pound it, hell yeah. But yeah, I want to save some more of that Transformers footage from the video game for another stream because there's like 2 hours worth of it, and we could make a whole nother stream out of that. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I hope you all had a good time. I'll be back. Let's see. It's Saturday. You know, I might do a stream tomorrow. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow. I've still been finishing up with the move lately. Plus, I'll be working on those new upgrades since we got the space bridge open. Hell yeah. We'll be heading through. We'll be tumbling through. But I appreciate everyone for hanging out. You all are indeed made of sterner stuff. So until next time, remember to stay weird and stay proud. This is Optimus the freaking Prime, signing off.